Amos Nimas is a GNU Linux open source coder who owns the Akuma business and has a link to his PayPal. Currently with 3 followers, he is the creator of Change Directory Plus, one of many very original and interesting things that you can find on his GitHub. CDP is a minimalist, open source, efficient, and user-friendly Python alternative to the classic terminal cd command with added functionality, and a link to his PayPal. He also now has a LibrePay, which I would personally support more than PayPal. It states on the README that one of the required packages is Nano, and it says package requirements sudo apt install Nano, but if you don't have apt, you can't really run this command, but it's okay as long as you have Nano, which should be installed by default anyway. Otherwise, it is required that you modify your bash rc file to allow yourself to use the command cdp to run Python to execute the cdp file. It's supposed to install automatically the dependencies when I run CDP, or at least when I try to pip install the requirements, but both these things don't seem to work for me. So I'm just going to remove this. There we go. I just had to debug a little bit. And now everything works. Now that everything's set up, you can use CDP. I can use the arrow keys or WASD to navigate. Something I want to mention though is that if I do CDP and provide a path, it does not consider the path. It just opens wherever your current working directory may be. Nonetheless, arrow keys up and down to change my selection. I can go right and it'll actually open the file in Nano, which is pretty interesting. And if I exit out, it brings me right back. That is very cool. I would prefer Vim, but I'm sure that's an easy fix in the code. In fact, let's try it out right now. Yeah, you can also change it to Vim or whatever. Cool. Let's do just that. And let's try to execute CDP once more. And now it opens in Vim. Pretty cool. So I can read any of these documents in the text editor of my choice, as long as I change it in the code itself. It would be nice if there was a parameter for that. I'm not sure if there is. I can press the left arrow, or A on the keyboard, to go back a directory. And then I can also go right to go into a directory, or as we've discovered, modify files. Or I can also use, no, I cannot use, I thought I could use enter, but enter just exits out of the program, which is kind of odd. Well, nonetheless, the arrow key system is pretty cool. Now, let's try something out. I have a folder here, my projects folder. It's on my secondary hard drive. So let's see what happens if I enter my projects folder. So it's changed the current directory to my secondary hard drive, which is excellent. But if I were to go back a directory, it would just make me go up a directory. It won't actually return me back to where I was. I would like to see an option for that so that I can always go back through history, through the files I was exploring, and not just go up a directory. Because now I have to go all the way back to root, go into home, and then into my personal home folder. Well, I gotta be honest, it's not the worst text-based file manager, although it does crash sometimes. It says that I can use Q to quit out, which is true, so that's pretty cool. And I'm wondering, what if I'm here and I quit out? Okay, it quits out to wherever I was in my terminal. It doesn't actually affect my current working directory. I can just kind of go through. But there's no parameters that allow me to modify much. There's a few parameters I think I can change. Yeah, I can do this to see hidden files. And I guess that's pretty cool. I don't think there's a... No, okay. But when I'm in, I seem able to just Whoa, didn't mean to do that. I can also press V to show hidden directories on or off. So that's cool as well. It says I'm able to rename files with Y. Let's give that a shot. What would I like to rename requirements to? I like to rename it. Doesn't work. And it works, although the requirements text file did not work. So let's delete it. How do we delete a file? We can delete a file by pressing, oh, we can enter a directory by pressing E. No, that does not work. So pressing E to enter directories doesn't work. I can return to the home directory by pressing C. That doesn't do anything. Well, I don't see any options to remove or delete directories or files, but there is a way to search for files, so, oh, well, never mind. I've seemed to have discovered how to delete the file. Let's not delete CDP, as that's what I'm using, but let's delete this. How did I do that? Oh, pressing D puts me in. If I press E, no, F searches. And that brings me there. That's pretty cool. Let's try that over here. If I search for bird, it brings me to the bees. Well, that's kind of BS considering that literally, where am I? I'm in my downloads. Here, but I wanted this. I wanted to find the bird folder, the bird file here, but it just brings me to the bees no matter what I put. What about backpack? Oh, it just brings me to the bees. It doesn't actually care. And pressing C doesn't do anything. Let's try creating something. So it says I can create a file by pressing P and a directory by pressing G. Let's create a folder. Let's call it test CDP folder. That's pretty cool. But it did crash once I entered it. Let's try again. No, that's just okay. What if I enter it myself and then CDP? For some reason it does not like that. Okay. Let's create a folder, a file this time. New file. Oh, and I go immediately into edit mode. What if I don't save? It doesn't create it. That's good. Oh, but since I changed the text editor, maybe it doesn't even care what I call it. Oops. Okay, I can search by index. That's pretty cool. But yeah, if I create a new file, I can do that. Then write that, and then. Okay, no, I did consider it. Pretty cool. Okay, cool. You don't spell want like that, but that's okay. Can I cancel? I don't wanna. Don't wanna maybe? Okay. I was able to delete copy path to selection. No, doesn't like that. So I can press R to remove stuff. So if I want to delete this, I press R. Do I want to delete? You can't delete it. I didn't, because I didn't say yes. No, you just can't delete it. Okay. What if I do R on the folder? Yes, I do. Okay, so you were able to delete that, but not full files. So I have to remove that. Okay. Well, CDP is very interesting as a file manager, but it definitely lacks some practicality. I don't want to edit every file as text, and I'm not able to easily copy files. There's a few glitches here and there that could be fixed. But as a project that this beginner programmer and open source enthusiast just decided to start up, it's fun. This seems like a fun project, and I salute the effort. But in a day-to-day, I might prefer to use a terminal-based file manager like C Files. Something that can offer a lot more practical use cases, that's able to open more than just one type of file one certain way, but nonetheless, very, very interesting. So if you feel like checking CDP, Change Directory Plus, out, I will leave a link in the description, and you can tell them what you think. I personally think that the code could be a little bit more optimized. There could be more parameters to change things like the text editor. I'm looking through here. I don't think there should be a sudo mode. What does this do? And I don't know about using os.system and then just sending in like some bash command like that. But nonetheless, once again, interesting effort. Good effort. Thank you for watching. I'll be right back with some new PinePhone based video. I'll see you there.